Welcome to week 2 of Rugby AM, and I'm sorry about my voice. I've had a bit of a chest infection this week. Doing my best Dennis Betts impression. You're already taking the mick out of me, Woody. Joined by Paul Wood, making your debut today.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Made an effort, been to Primark this week, got some new jeans, new shirt, so yeah, looking forward to it.
Looking good. We're also joined by the one though, and he was our first guest on Yorkshire Radio. He's been with our journey since the very beginning, the legend Danny McGuire!
Hey.
Magsy, the crowd went a little bit more wild than they did for Nobby last week.
Yeah, appreciate the reception. It's a pleasure to be here, and like I said before, I was with you when it first started, so you know, see how far you've come. It's you've done a great job, mate.
20 years affiliation with Leeds Rhinos. How have you found the transition to Hull KR?
Yeah, no, I've loved it. I've been there about 3 or 4 months now, and it's a really good club. You know, all the lads are top lads as well, so it's been really easy to fit in. Everybody's sort of working in the same direction. The club wants to, you know, improve and obviously catch up with our city rivals in Hull FC, who have had, you know, 2 great seasons winning the Challenge Cup. So yeah, I've really enjoyed it, and yeah, we've had a tough start to the season, but it's been really enjoyable so far. Did
Jonesy try and take your head off because he said he wanted to last week?
He tried to once actually. I think he was going to choke me, but he thought better of it. I was going to give him a sly elbow, but yeah, it was good. You know, like I said before, it was strange playing against some of my best mates, and you know, some of the lads that we had the journey that we went on last year in 2017. But yeah, like I said before, you just go out there, and you know, when you're playing, it's just business.
Right, we've got loads to get into the show tonight. On screen right now is last weekend's fixtures. Going to pick a couple out and talk to you both about them. Woody, first at Warrington, 2 defeats. I didn't see it coming. I thought they'd start better. How was your feelings on, obviously, your old club, Warrington?
To be honest, I expected Warrington to start a lot stronger. Spoke to the lads in the camp, and they've come off a pre-season, a pretty tough pre-season, with loads of confidence, and they've said publicly that it's the best team morale that they've seen at the club. And you know, they haven't started strong, and I think they're going to have to dust themselves off pretty quick, and they've got a big game this week against Widnes.
Magsy, Wakefield, 2 wins. Other side of the coin to Warrington, but what's your thoughts on the Wakey boys this year?
Yeah, I think they're the real deal this year, if I'm honest. I think we played them in round 1, and you know, they give us a bit of a dusting, to be honest with you. They're very strong in the middle. They've got some big forwards, and obviously some speed on the edges as well, with, you know, Bish, Tom Johnston, and they've got some really clever players in the middle in Finn, Miller and Wood. So you know, I think they're definitely going to be pushing top 4 this year, and you know, obviously had a great year last year, but I think they'll improve again this year.
This week, obviously, we've been around Leeds for quite a lot, and it's time to go over to get our new feature, My Town, which went down really well with Mickey, I Am Your Mate, last week. And we've got a Leeds legend in Chev Walker taking us round Leeds. He's a great bloke, isn't he, Chev?
Yeah, absolute legend, Chev. Spent a lot of time with him as, you know, as youngsters growing up, playing together at the Hunslet Warriors as well, and you know, he's one of my best mates, and obviously doing really well at coaching now at Leeds. Right,
this is Chev Walker's My Town.
I am Chev Walker. Welcome to my town. Welcome to Leeds. Yeah, so I'm back down at the Warriors. This is where it all started for me, where I fell in love with the game. I was lucky to play in a team that was coached by Jerry Nelson that brought us over. So we were the first junior team of the Hunslet Warriors. So we went 5 years unbeaten while we're down here, and for me, it's probably the most memorable time of my rugby career, most enjoyable anyway. Made friends for life, and it's an hotbed for rugby. I played my first game here, and I played in the last ever rugby league game here. So it holds the best memories for me, the most strongest memories, and that's why I donated my shirt to the club. This gave me the platform to be able to go on and become a professional. So when I made the height of my career and I made my Great Britain debut, I thought it was only right to give him a shirt, which is proudly on the wall. Yeah, so it might seem a little bit strange that we're in Morrison's down here in Hunslet. It used to be the feeding hall after training, everyone's come over here, pasty, chicken or whatever, but not only is it the feeding hall for the rugby lads, it's also the place where the Crabtree Wilson Award's kept, and the Crabtree Wilson Award is basically the Man of Steel for Hunslet. There was a panel of so-called experts that used to that go around and they watch the local games, and so in the past there's been Gary Schofield, Marvin Golden, Jason Robinson, Darryl Cardis, just to name a few. And I was lucky in '97-98 season to actually win it. So I was 13 when I won it. The year that I won it, it was actually moved down here and put on display within Hunslet. So as a youngster, I used to be a bit embarrassed about it. But as I finished, got older, it's something that I'm proud of to have achieved. So we're now up in the Broom Place, 21 Broom Place. This is where the reason that I ended up playing rugby is probably because of this place. Mum and Dad bought the shop, which is now Best One post office. It used to be the fruit and veg shop, also a sandwich bar. So I used to come from Errol's Primary School here after school and sit up there in them windows and look at some kids running into each other outside on which were a patch of grass just out there. And I used to think, what are them kids doing? Like just running into each other with this stupid ball in their hand. So I'd sit and watch, never dare go out and have a crack at playing it. Until it got too much for Mum and Dad to keep going and picking me up from school to bring me back over here. And I ended up moving school. So when I moved school, I moved to a school just up the road called Clapgate, and them same kids that were playing out there were the kids that obviously playing rugby went to Clapgate. So I ended up joining in, and you could say the rest is history really, being a big horrible kid from Errol's and putting a ball under my arm and saying that we're allowed to run into someone or run over them, but like a dream come true. So never looked back. So some good memories on here. It's steeped in rugby history, to be fair. Gene Schofield, Gary's mum, used to run the chippy down there, and if I want to eat sandwiches in here, I will go into the chippy there. And anyone that knows me knows that I was a big fat kid, which at the time were probably good. That's why I could play prop and run over people. So yeah, so my mum's butties and Gene Schofield's chippies were probably the fuel. So here we are at Clapgate Primary, the primary school and the team that I first ever played for. This school again steeps in rugby league history, and Jimmy Lowes used to do his pre-season. Well, I say pre-season, probably just getting his beer off his guts before he had to go in for pre-season. But we'd be in class and you'd see Jimmy Lowes like doing laps and laps at school field, where he used to jump over from his mum and dad's garden. So again, loads of memories from this school, but one of the standout memories is actually trialling out for the school team. And the team, we had that many kids that wanted to play rugby around this area that there were two teams, there were an A and a B team, and I was without doubt the biggest kid in school. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'll try out for the school team and hopefully I get a crack at it. Gone and looked on the board and my name went on there, like on the first team, on the A team. So we're on the B team, a bit disappointed. And then I've looked across and there's a little lad called, well, I say a little lad, he's a dwarf, called Gary Milner, being picked for the A team, and he's a back rower. He's not even playing scrum half. So that's probably a sign of how bad I was. The biggest kid in school couldn't get picked for the A team, and we've got little Gary Milner that were up to my kneecaps playing back row for the first team. Don't know whether that's a sign of how good the B team was, that they could put the biggest kid in there, but I don't think so. So here we are, we're at Headingley, famous Headingley Stadium, obviously going under a bit of construction at the minute, a new era for the club. But I was here when it was Leeds RL as a supporter, that's why I fell in love with the club. So years down the line, obviously they become Leeds Rhinos in '97, and I joined in '98. Then I went on to make my debut in 99, sorry, as a 16-year-old. So from that fat kid that had never seen the game, never played the game, as an 11-year-old, to then make my debut as a 16-year-old, it was a bit of a whirlwind. But prior to that, a bit of a funny story is that I'd obviously gone through the representative ranks, and each year used to get a season pass to come and watch then Leeds RL. And being the little scamp that I was, I used to get a tenner off my mum to come to the game and buy some sweets off the old sweet stalls that used to be in here. But I used to rip my ticket out. I used to rip my ticket out of the season pass and sell it at the front of the ground and cut down here and go up the little ginnel and climb over a lamppost. After a while, there were a police officer that used to parade up and down, and he copped for me one day, and he's like saying, "Hey, listen, what are you doing?" So I said, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I said, "But I'm going to play for these one day." So he says, "Oh, I hope you are." He says, "I'll tell you what, if you do, I hope you're going to give me a ticket." So, funnily enough, when I made my debut, I made my home debut against Salford on the Wednesday, and I completely forgot about him. After the game, I was walking down to go get my mate's car to go home, and I've copped for him, seen him, and I said, "Right, I'll tell you what, next game I'll definitely get you a ticket." And holding me to my word, I did. I got him a ticket, and I'm sure he came to watch. So obviously after finishing there at Headingley, this is a normal stop-off. Basically, after every win, we used to come here and celebrate it with Fletch. Obviously, the pub used to be run by Fletch, and if you played for the Rhinos, you know that you were coming to the Skyrack to either drink your woes away, but more than likely, it was always to celebrate a win. Some of the best memories was always followed by memories in this place. So after the grand final in 2004, Fletch brought us here, give us a lock-in, and then like any other game, any other big game was always celebrated here. It almost, back then obviously there was a bit of a drinking culture at the Rhinos when I first started, and I did my initiation here, down in that bottom beer garden, and I was, I don't know if they get away with it now, but 16, naked, singing in pure daylight on a Saturday afternoon. I don't think they get away with it now, but back then they were part and parcel of being a Rhinos player and being a young rugby league player. So good memories of this place. I even had my leaving do when I left the Rhinos actually here. So like I say, so it's one of them. You play for the Rhinos. Well, if you played for the Rhinos when the Rhinos had a drinking culture, you would have spent just as much time here as you did out there on a Friday night. Thank you for listening to my story. I'm off to go pack my bags now, ready for Melbourne. Thanks for coming to my town.
It's great to see some of the sights of Leeds, the greatest city in the world, isn't it, Mags?
The best, but I think we're biased, mate, aren't we? We're a bit biased.
Just a little bit. It's time now to go over to a new feature, sponsored by Age Partnership, Mr. and Mrs. And we've got the Garberts taking it on. Great couple, mate.
Yeah, got a lot of time for Mitch and Ruth. They're a great couple, and obviously Garbs is one of my best pals, and it'll be interesting to see how they get on in this Mr. and Mrs.
Top stuff. Let's have a look now. Mr. and Mrs. with Mitch and Ruth Garbett.
Mitch Garbett, Leeds Rhinos number 17. I'm from Yorkshire, me.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Hi, I'm Mrs. Ruth Garbett, and I'm from Melbourne.
Remember it like it was yesterday. Frozen broccoli and steak.
Could you give me a second to like... It was frozen. It was actually frozen broccoli and steak. That was perfect.
Pretty good. What is that?
I didn't spell it right. I can't even think.
I come from a land down under. I don't think it would be.
No. It's Gravity by Miguel.
She's made that up. Ruth's best friend is Dominique. She's known her for a very long time. She lives in Brisbane.
Yeah, it's my girlfriend Dum Dum.
Favourite place in the world would have to be Melbourne, I'd say. She loves Melbourne. She always talks about going back to Melbourne.
Hi. Yeah, it's Melbourne. Do you want to get out? No, I just had to explain it.
It was in Melbourne. It would have been in my apartment, I'd say. And that was where, yeah.
That's right.
Definitely not me.
Wait, there's two.
It'd be someone from Melbourne, I'd say, because she thinks she's a Queenslander, even though she wasn't born there. It'd either be Billy Slater or Cameron Smith.
I had two. Billy and Thurston. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I actually said Billy first. I did write Billy first.
All-time favourite film.
This is hard because I don't really like movies.
She loves Zach Galifianakis. Probably something with him in it. I reckon probably one of the Hangovers. I think.
No, I like White Chicks.
Oh.
Did I? Chicks.
It'd be Mexican food. She's South American, so she likes all that type of food. Yeah.
It's nachos, and Mexican is a different country.
It's in South America.
Chile.
But are you not South American?
Yeah, but it's in a different country.
Saying you're Mexican. Probably Channing Tatum, something like that.
That's Mitch's crush. Brad Pitt's mine. Mitch's crush is Channing Tatum. Thinks he is him.
She's just got a good natural scent, so she doesn't really have a perfume as such. Probably just deodorant in general, I think.
It's not deodorant, it's 1 million.
I've heard this story a few times about this car, and her brother sold it to her. It blew up on the highway. It was a Toyota? It wasn't it was a Honda.
What kind of Honda?
It was a Honda Civic.
It was.
And blew up.
It was a red Honda Civic.
I don't think I have a good habit if you talk to her.
I just wrote that he's just in general annoying. He does everything wrong. He's got a lot of bad habits. I do everything around the house.
Who'd say that?
He doesn't have a pet name, to be honest with you. It's just Mitchell, but really loud.
Well, it would normally be pepperoni.
Yeah, it's pepperoni. You're doing really good.
careful here because I know what my favourite present is, but she might say something different. The best present she gave me, besides from my kids, obviously, so if she's put kids, I still get a point for that, would be Xbox. Would it? What'd she write?
Yeah. I wrote a massage chair or the Xbox.
Right, the Garbutt scoring a respectable 8.5 out of 15. Woody, how would you get on with your lass?
I reckon we'd do all right. She knows everything about me now, so yeah, I reckon I'd get about 15 out of 15.
About you, Magsy? 15,
Yeah.
it's a big call.
No, I reckon we'd do all right. We've been together a long time, so I reckon we'd give it. I reckon we'd beat the Garbutts. I think.
Now it's time to go over to see a young man to get to know him a little bit better. This is Stevie Ward's Getting to Know You.
I don't know. I don't know who he is. Is that weird? Jamie Jones Buchanan. An actor. Leeds United. I'm an avid fan. Favourite food? I do love a good steak, although I'm going off on a Mullally tangent lately. I don't know, I feel like it's sometimes a bit unfair to eat meat, but I don't have the energy, time or effort to look into it, so I prefer a steak every now and then. It was a Mazda Takara, a Mazda 3, a big burgundy estate car, not a estate car, on the way to a hatchback, big hatchback. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. Like a glove. Probably 2017 Grand Final, the last 5 minutes. I allowed myself to smile for the first time ever on a rugby pitch because we'd had the Grand Final in the bag and there were all that stuff about coming back with a shoulder injury and stuff, and you know, that were amazing to allow myself a smile and to run around Old Trafford and play like a young lad again. It was brilliant. Probably snapping my knee, which was in 2015 going towards the Grand Final. I'd say it's a Linkin Park track, my favourite one, because I've listened to them ever since I was younger. I'd say we had it in the gym the other day, so I'd say Linkin Park in the end. I've got a good mate, even though he's an Aussie, Cuffbo, he's a good mate of mine. Brad Singleton, I've grown up with him through the ranks at Leeds. Anthony Mullally's a good lad. Yeah, I think it changes on whoever's funny or whoever's annoying me at that time. Ace Ventura. I saw Linkin Park and Jay-Z live down in Milton Keynes at the Bowl. It was awesome. The Office, without a doubt. I've had to think about other stuff, but without a doubt, The Office. In rugby, The Office of Rugby AM, I meant coming in to see you guys and seeing all you lot just have a laugh. I wouldn't know what to do. I'd probably go to Vegas for like 3 days and then get fed up with that and then go lie on an island, buy an island and go lie on that for a few days and then come back and play rugby probably. The Philippines. Kev's one of them. Danny McGuire's one of them, playing him this week. I thought Yes and Irish were good. I grew up watching Yes and Irish, Danny McGuire and Kev, so pick one of them. Casa Colombiana. It's obviously Colombian food. It's awesome. It's just in the Grand Arcade. It's quiet, and there won't be many people there, but it's a good feed. And if you don't fancy a Colombian, Manhattan.
That's all for Rugby AM Part 1. Join us in Part 2 for much more action with a social media roundup, a feature on As Good As It Gets, the brand new film which Magsy stars in, and obviously Wagger goes to Ellen Road for a big game day experience. Plus there's a chance to win a competition. Stay tuned right here, Rugby AM. Welcome back to Part 2, Rugby AM here on FreeSports. It's great that you're joining us here at week 2, joined by Paul Wood and the legend that is Danny McGuire. Magsy, we're going to start off with social roundup. You're on social media, right? You're not one of these who, like Jonesy, is scared of it.
Yeah, no, I'm on social media. It did take me a while actually to get into it. All the boys were on it for a good couple of years before I got sucked in, and yeah, I'm on Twitter and Instagram, and yeah, that's about it. But I don't really post that much. I need to probably start posting a little bit more, be a bit more adventurous, I suppose.
We've got a new social round. We do it every week because there's so many funny tweets that go around. We'll start off with this one from Mrs. Scruton, Alice, and a picture of Scroots lifting big weights, and it says, "Get your big rig back home," from when you're on your pre-season camp.
Yeah, he got a bit of stick actually from the boys from that one. He has got a good rig, to be fair. Scroots is a big lad, and I suppose when you're away on camp, you do get missed a little bit, but yeah, I did get a bit of stick from the lads for that one. Ryan
Hall posting from just today in Australia. He's gone all the way to Australia to knock about with Grant Mitchell from EastEnders. He's a strange bloke.
Yeah, I did see that picture actually. It was interesting. He looked like he were on his knees, Ross Kemp, didn't he? He didn't look. Yeah. I always thought he was taller in EastEnders and that.
You said that as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So yeah, that was an interesting one.
One of the best accounts I've seen, parody accounts, is Ginger Pearl Faz, and it's someone at Wigan who's running it, obviously one of the boys, picking on Liam Farrell. This is Faz inside, he can't play out in case he gets burnt, playing on the Xbox. Do you know who's behind this account?
I haven't a clue who's behind it, but I love the fact that whenever there's a ginger in the team, everybody just gets the mick taken out of them, especially when the sun's out. So, it is hilarious, but some good content on that account.
Woody, you're now making your debut as well. First up, you and Bubble, Men in Wigs. What's this all about?
Well, we decided we'd have a team function at the Lee Centurions after the Batley game, and we just thought it'd be hilarious to see Jamie Acton and Kieran Purtle in a wig. So we just made it compulsory for everyone to wear a wig. So the team function just required a wig, and the boys had a few beers after the game.
Stephen Ratchford's brother Leighton posting this 50 Shades of Wigan, Woody, and inviting girls to his pleasure room, which is just a pie shop window.
If you show a bloke in Wigan a pie, or a woman, they're going for the pie. End of. Yeah, that's it.
George Burgess fancying himself as a future Game of Thrones actor. Picture himself on the Iron Throne there, Magsy.
Yeah, no, I'm a big Game of Thrones fan, and I think they could definitely, the twins, a lot of them, they're all huge, aren't they? They could definitely fit in the what's the army called that come from the Wildlings or something like that? Yeah,
the Dothraki.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And lastly, it's great to see Cameron Smith and Callum Watkins holding a proper trophy rather than a stupid shield for the World Club Challenge. Australians doing it right and bringing that great trophy back for this game.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think the World Club Challenge, it's such a great competition, and everybody wants to be involved in it and win it. And you need to be lifting a trophy at the end, not a little shield. So it's really good for the Aussies to bring that back.
Did you see the trophy that Hull FC and Wigan Warriors played for over in Oz this weekend?
It was bigger than Sam Tompkins, I think.
Apparently, Lee Radford threw that game, so he didn't have to bring it back because he wanted to bring 1,000 fags back in his suitcase. I don't know whether this is true, but we can try and find out.
We'll ask you. We'll message Radders and get the true inside story for your true Rugby AM style. Right, it's time now to watch a clip of yourself, Magazine. It's the players you played with in 2015, talking about your contribution and you as a player, and they say some really nice things about you, mate.
Yeah, it was it's an honour to be asked to be involved in the film, and I'm looking forward to it eventually coming out, and I think it's going to be at the film festival, is it in April sometime? So and I think all the lads that are on there are giving an honest, open account of the season, and it'll be a really interesting watch.
A lot went on behind the scenes, that a lot of adversity that none of the fans know about. Nobody really, apart from that inner sanctum of the team, know about. And there's going to be a lot of that stuff lifted the lid off on the film.
Yeah, and I think that's the case with all the years. You know, sometimes you're successful and you see the good points, you know, lifting trophies and winning games, but there's a lot of tough times that come with that during a season, or you know, during a game even. And you know, I think the lads were pretty honest and open in, you know, with their accounts of 2015, and you know, a brilliant year. You know, we got all 3 competitions, but we had some tough times during that little spell as well. And yeah, like I say, it'll be a really interesting watch. Right
then, so let's firstly see the players and what they say about Mags. It's an exclusive clip. It might not even make the film, so you guys might be the only people to see it. And then also an interview with Lee Hickin, the director and editor of the film, and my oldest friend. I've known him since I was 3 years young. And yeah, it's a really insightful interview. Check this out.
Naturally, the best rugby league player I've played with. His natural instincts, his skill. I could say he could probably put that in any sport.
He could play any sport and he'd be professional at it.
Lovely man. Very, very talented. Yeah, but he's good at everything.
Just a really, really brilliant player to watch.
Snooker, pool, darts, football, whenever we were fortunate to get the football out, he was the best. So he was like the kid on the other team that he always wanted to beat, and he's the only person I got gratification from beating. And when you've got that on your team, player, you know he's going to come up with something magic. He's going to come up with the Hollywood moment.
Immensely talented, you know, and fast thinking. I always think Danny's got a quick brain and probably sometimes a bit too clever for his own good, if that's a fair thing to say. But in an instant, you know, for example, a quick chip when no one's expecting it, and when most people would say, don't do that, Danny, he'll do things that others might not.
Lee, it's been a great journey for you in film and in business in Leeds, and this film now featuring the Rhinos 2015 treble winning history making season. It's not just about Leeds Rhinos, it's about rugby league, and it's taking the game to a new global audience.
Yeah, this film started out talking about 2015 because we were thinking about, you know, where are the most dramatic moments, and obviously 2015 was a crazy year filled with the retirements of key players, the treble talk, the Huddersfield game, all this sort of stuff. But the longer that we all talked about this project, it became much bigger than that, and we wanted to tell the story of the generation of players that came through, and also the how those players came through and where they came from. So we keep using this term inside the city, talking of how does someone who knows nothing about rugby league connect with this film? So that's a sort of starting point, and we're going to go as far back as to sort of explain what the north of England is. That's the starting point for this film, and it's not going to be, you know, not about the sport at all, but we do want to set the scene so that an audience in North America or China or wherever can watch this and get the north and get rugby league as well.
Nigel Wood once spoke to me about the Tina Turner moment. When the NRL got Tina Turner in to do a Winfield Cup ad, it changed the perspective of the game into that family, into that safe audience. It wasn't that brutality, that thuggery that it had been known about. It all almost commercialised it overnight. I think this film, it's not going to be the Tina Turner moment, but it's going to be about producing high quality, top line content that reaches a brand new audience. I think that's important because people have got to understand the investment in quality content to drive a wider audience.
The content is there, all the platforms are there. What we've been missing is the middle bit, which is to produce something of high quality that connects emotionally, not just with people who already love it like us. We'll watch the coverage and we'll think it's funny if there's some kind of Northern in-joke or whatever. But, you know, would somebody flicking through BBC Two and seeing the Challenge Cup or whatever it is, would they stop? You know, that's where we need to be capturing those type of audience, especially when, you know, look at you guys on a national platform now with Rugby AM. The BBC is still an important player for rugby league as well. we need to capture the audience better because they're there. The World Cup showed it, that people can get interested if you present something that's good enough. So there's all the potential in the world. I don't want it to sound too negative, but we have also got to capitalise on the potential, because there's a lot of sports competing for the pots of money at the moment, and the next deal for Rugby League should, in theory, be the biggest money deal it's ever got from TV. But we need to start doing the work now to make sure that it gets that in a few years.
Let's talk a little bit more about the film itself, because it's portraying an amazing story, and it's shot with all different kind of content providers in mind, because it's shot in the Netflix spec, so it could go to Netflix, it could go to Amazon Prime, and a key drive for that is some of the supporters, because we got a real coup in Matt Lewis being part of the journey as well.
One of the things that we said earlier, we had a wish list at the start. We're saying, in an ideal world, this is the cast, and in an ideal world, Matt would narrate the film. Now, you never know what can happen, but thanks to you and Jamie, we've managed to do we'll get everyone we wanted, basically. And then we contacted Matt and explained the idea to him, and it was really cool for me to hear that he said he was honoured to be involved, and that shows what type of a guy he is, but also the how much love he has for Leeds Rhinos and for Rugby League. He's not faking that he's a proper fan. And so we met with him when he was back in January, went through all the film with him, and he's like mega excited to be involved. And for us as well, we talk about reaching the North American audience. Matt's a big star, it's when everybody knows each other, it's kind of, you sometimes don't realise who's famous and who's not famous because you're all just pals. But he's a huge star, so it's a coup for us to get him to narrate the film, and it adds another layer to what we're doing, and will help it go further marketing wise, and I'm sure he'll just do a fantastic job anyway. We'll have a great narrator.
And one thing I love about the film, I've only seen 12 minutes of the director's cut, and please bear in mind when you do see the film that there is obviously the final cut, but there will be a director's cut for those true hardcore fans that might even be up to 2.5 hours long. Was the honesty of the players. Now, we've got some of the biggest names in our game telling stories, behind the scenes stories that have never been told before, that are really kind of, on the knife point. It's really the hard times that they face personally and as a club, and it's got a real honest vibe to this story, and there's going to be a lot of revelations that the fans have never heard. And a special mention to Zach Hardacre, who after a really tough period in his life, he came out and told his story of his 2015 journey.
Because I don't know everybody before the film. There's some people that I don't meet until this film was made. Zach was fantastic. I mean, we all, it's well documented his problems off the pitch sometimes. But what a lovely fella. He was brilliant. We had a great chat. Ended up chatting for about 3 hours. He just basically told it how it is and how he feels about stuff. And he's not someone who tries to hide behind lies. He just tells it how it is, and he says, this is he's well aware of his own problems. I think he's well aware of his own talent, and he's a one-off, and he knows he's a one-off. But how well he spoke in the film and how honest he was amazing. Jamie Peacock, another one who, we all know him as this legendary warrior player, and we've seen him sort of presenting on other TV shows, but it was cool to sit down with JP and just let him totally speak off the cuff, like I'm sure he does with his teammates. Fantastic. Same with Gary Hetherington and Kevin Sinfield, these people who you see in a certain way on television because that's how they're trained, and that's what's good strategically for a lot of them, is to just, play it with a straight bat and don't get too up, don't get too down. But when people have either retired or they're not as bothered anymore, Rob Burrow, another one, the honesty's been amazing. Like I think the interviews that we've got about 15 interviews. You could watch all of them for an hour, and all 15 of them would be, you could watch 15 hours and it would still be interesting.
That team was incredible. there were just some brilliant players.
Well, I thought we had the best squad in the country.
You know, we're the team that will do more than anyone else.
Got to have a good coach. Well, we had a great coach.
You know, he's the most successful coach the club have ever had, and delivered trophy after trophy.
And I always say, this might be as good as it gets, fellas.
I thought, you know what, I'm in LA.
Not many people knew, but I had heart problems.
He said, that's me. I said, whoa, what do you mean that's you? He said, that's me, I'm gone.
What's next? You know, but what comes next for me? Where do I go?
He went, Brian, this is the biggest decision this club's ever faced.
Magsy, I think Lee makes some really good points there about this film not just being for Leeds Rhinos fans. It's a piece of quality content that's it's being shot with, obviously we said in the interview, an American housewife in mind. It's a sports documentary, the kind of thing you see for the NFL, and it's going to take rugby league to a new global audience.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you know, I think it's going to be like, you know, you watch these NFL journeys that, you know, San Francisco 49ers have been on, and, you know, they're really interesting watches, and, you know, you don't even have to be a big fan of American football to enjoy it, so you don't have to be a Rhinos fan to enjoy this. I think it's going to be a great initiative, and like I say, I'm really looking forward to seeing how it turns out.
Right now it's time for our big game day experience. Every week we're going to be sending Wagga and Woody, or one or the other, off to a different game. This week Wagga went to Ellen Road to see how Magsy got on, going back to face his old team. Check this out.
Are you there now? Yeah, get out after this blue one if you can. Oh, you're out. There you go in front of me now. That's the one. Look at that!
Yeah, the boy! Ellen Road, last time I went in, I came for my mate's birthday and watched who were they playing now? 2-1. 2-1 they got me. I just thought, oh my God, there were like 3,000 there. It was like a Tuesday night. It was horrible. These two outlets, it's August 2016, Jimmy. The loss, Leeds beat OKR 22-16. Yes, I'm all full of stats.
Is it left at Walsers or right at Big Wheel? Dodgems. Pass the Dodgems on the left-hand side. I say, pass the Dodgems.
Do you know what I mean? Alistair, MBE, British triathlete, 2012, 2016. The only athlete to win 2 Olympic titles in the event. Do you know that, Jimmy?
Oh, mate, no,
the Brownlee brothers. I say no.
Melbourne, Billy Slater, Cameron Smith, they've got that much finesse about them. They've got some star players. What do you guys have to do, Jonesy, to win that World Club Challenge?
Mate, do you know what? It's almost 10 years to the week that we played those players with Melbourne and the Cooper Cronk and the Greg Inglis out here at Ellen Road and dusted them. Mate, it'd be unbelievably tough to do it. We're not kidding ourselves here. It's a massive challenge, arguably the biggest challenge of my career. But that's what life's all about, isn't it? Going and getting out of your comfort zone, stretching. And if we could go over there, mate, and get my 4th World Club Challenge medal, I've got one for each kid. So let's go do it. Throw caution to the wind, just see what happens.
How do you feel playing at Ellen Road? Are you a big football fan to play at Leeds United?
No, but my missus' family are massive Leeds fans, so they was all pleased for me to play here, so that was good. But yeah, great stadium, good atmosphere, and just, as I say, a bit disappointed not to get anything from it, really.
We're underdogs up until the grand final last year. We did that one, so you know, it's the same scenario really for us going in. It's not new to us, so we're really looking forward to it.
You know, we're playing who we consider the best team in the world. So it'll be a tough ask, but I think we believe in ourselves to go out there and cause a bit of an upset. So we'll hopefully get everything right going into it and look forward to that game.
Obviously, the NRL is very strong, and it's going. Obviously, they've only got a week's prep over there. So with the time difference, it'll be hard, but I'll definitely be supporting them.
Rugby AM fan cam fueled by LD Nutrition. Oh yes! We've got a fan! We've got one! Come on! Come on, Leeds! All Leeds are we! Carlan, next Thursday night at home. Can you get a win?
We pulled off a surprise tonight, didn't we? Yeah, we nearly pulled off.
Relegation dogfight, Wagger.
With a rhino. He won't admit to it, but he's
I'm half rhino! Only because of you, Jonesy. Who's your favourite ever Leeds Rhinos player?
Probably Matt Parcell.
Matt Parcell, great guy, good looking kid, looks a little bit like me, doesn't he? A little bit.
Rhino. Yeah.
Nice kid, big lad. Jimmy Kinehorst, hat-trick. Can he drop him next week? Will he play him against Melbourne?
He's got to play him. He's a legend, isn't he?
He's a legend.
He's a legend of Leeds, even though he's German.
Are you going to us?
I'm not going, I'm bad.
Are you bad? He can't fly! Is he bad, Jimmy?
Jimmy, I'm bad.
Can you say it on TV why you're bad?
No.
No! Beep! No, we can't.
Right. All the best. Still Leeds Rhinos out with, let's have it.
Yeah, let's have it! They like Jimmy, they all love Jimmy tonight. You've got to fly to Australia tomorrow, right? Are you going? How come Mum and Dad, you're not flying them out? You're not flying them out? You're not...
We're off to Catalan though. So.
Oh, well done, Mum and Dad. Was you worried?
Yeah. We usually do play pretty well in wet conditions, but we were very scrappy. We probably played well for 10 minutes in both halves and we managed to get a win.
90%, they haven't lost. They've got a 90% record over the last 5 years at home. Can they do it? Can Leeds go over there and win?
Melbourne have a lot of tough players.
Well, the Aussies!
They had Cooper Cronk, he's gone. I reckon we've got a better chance with them losing one of the key playmakers.
Robert Hicks is where it's at.
Robert Hicks is blaming the ref. I love a fan that blames the ref. You're the coach. What did you say to inspire your boys?
Like, pass the ball out because we're passing it out a lot today. Try your hardest, do your best, make your drives game, look up and pass that ball around.
Do you know what I'd say? They can't run without their heads. Give them it, the Aussies. Score prediction next week. I'm putting you on the spot. You play Melbourne, at Melbourne. They've got a really good win rate. They're a great team. Do you reckon Leeds can beat them?
Definitely.
She's confident. They have the faith. Leeds Rhinos. 2 wins out of 2 in Super League. They've got to fly to Australia and beat Melbourne. It's going to be an awesome game. I can't wait. I hope Leeds get a win.
Wagger going full fat there on the LD Nutrition fan cam. Do you think he's all there, Wagger?
I think he's a good lad, Wagger. He's good entertainment anyway. He's good fun to be around, and whenever you're around him, you've always got a smile on your face.
Online right now is our brand new website, rugbyam.co.uk. Please check it out. It looks amazing on mobile. You can check out all the latest news, catch up on the shows, and win some great prizes. One of our fantastic prizes this week is Matchday Hospitality at Magic Weekend, a pair of tickets for you and a friend. One of our main features on the website, an article I always love to read, is Mike Andrews' Team of the Week. So let's run down, give us the backline first of the Team of the Week, Woody.
Okay, so at fullback we've got Scott Grix. On the wing we've got Liam Marshall. In one centre we've got Chris Wellham. In the other centre Jimmy Kinehorst. And on the other wing, number 5, Greg Minican.
And in the halfbacks
we've got Wiggins George Williams and St Helens Danny Richardson.
Let's hear out who's in the full pack now.
Okay, so in the pack we've got Luke Thompson. At hooker we've got Danny Walker. We've got Robbie Mullern. In the second row we've got Stevie Ward. Partnering him we've got Dale Ferguson. And then at number 13 we've got Ryan Hinchcliffe.
Right, the last thing we're going to talk about tonight is the brand new Rugby AM live show starting on Saturday the 3rd of March. Each and every week we're going to be bringing to you guys at home on the FreeSports channel a live NCL game. Woody, we'll start with you because you're still playing in the NCL. It must be exciting, mate.
Yeah, definitely. Do you know what? It's going to be really good for the lads to get some exposure, because I've thoroughly enjoyed going back to my old amateur club and going over to Featherstone Lions, Milford Merlins, and it is there's some class players in there, and it's going to be really enjoyable, to be able to broadcast that.
Now, your old team, East Leeds, going to get a game in when they go to Jones's old team, Stanley, so I might have to get you down there to that game.
Yeah, I'm down there for that one. A bit of rivalry there, a bit of Leeds rivalry, and without these clubs, your East Leeds, your Milfords, the game doesn't exist. It's where we all came from. So, it's really important that you get down and support, and then stay for a couple of beers after as well.
Next week on the show, we go back to Dewsbury Celtic with Alex Walmsley. We've also got Wagger's big game day experience as he goes to see one of your mates, Lee Smith, as he plays for Bradford, captains them against York as League One kicks off. Thanks for coming once again to Rugby AM, giving your time up for nothing and supporting our journey. Big thanks to Woody as well. You popped your cherry in the studio, pal.
Yeah, I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, it's been a good experience. You've looked after me, so yeah, thanks for having me on.
Next week, Jonesy should be back in the studio if they let him through customs. Don't forget to check out rugbyam.co.uk, enter the competitions, join in the chat, and follow @RugbyAM on all social media platforms. We'll see you next week. Good night, God bless.